We now return to Mega March. Plasma Power!
Number 1.
Hello everyone, ColeManX here. Megaman X4. Like, what else could number 1 possibly be? This is it. This cutscene is the very thing that convinced me to get a PlayStation. Like, before seeing this, I'd never seen Mega Man X animated. So this was just incredible. Like, I didn't know games could do this, you know? And, like last time, the American intro song just fits the action on screen just so well. So, there's my preference. Before we get too deep into this, when it shows Final Weapon floating in space, like after all the soldiers salute, does it look like a giant floating, saluting Reploid hand? Like, am I the only one that's seeing that? Anyway, you know, we start getting introduced to all the characters, you know, Double's over here just being a goof when he's not Jello Man. Like, you only see Zero and Colonel together for, like, just a second, but their facial expressions, they really tell you a lot about their relationship. It's kind of this friendly rivalry, you know, at first. And then X jumping into the air and charging up and then firing his buster has to be the coolest that X has ever looked. Like, it's so good. I can't put it into words besides it's good, it's great, it's amazing. But we end on a roll call, and you got the whole group just standing together looking down at the camera, which is a pretty interesting perspective shot. And then we get to the character select screen, and this art is so good. Like, I don't know who was in charge of it, but it's really unique. Like, there's no other Mega Man X art that I can think of that looks quite like this, and it just looks really cool, and I love the style. X's intro is, you know, it's okay. It's fun size general, and then this mysterious Maverick, you know, like, they're fine, they're talking. X isn't even in the intro, so that kind of brings it down a peg for me. But the real treat is the Zero intro, and we all know it. Like, man, I remember the first time I saw this and just being blown away that Wily created Zero. Like, we've had, like, oh god, like 25 years to process this now. But this was such a big deal when it was new. You know, and then you see all these, like, creepy shots, and you see Sigma, like, freaking out. There's just blood and mangled bodies everywhere. Like, oh man. It was just really something. And, you know, harp on the voice acting all you want, but Zero's delivery of the same dream again. It's actually really well done. I think it's, like, legitimately best line delivery in the whole game. And there's just so much to say about this opening and the two intros that accompany it, and I could really go on forever, but just know that X4 takes the top spot and deserves nothing less.
Oh man. Now, this one is probably a special one for me, as I'm sure it is for a lot of other people. But Mega Man X4 is the first time I had ever seen these characters in motion, so to speak, outside of, like, you know, sprites and whatnot. Especially in America, where there really wasn't any sort of animation for Mega Man outside of the Ruby Spears cartoon. Seeing Mega Man characters animated was like a first. Like, it just didn't happen. So when I popped in Mega Man X4 and I'm greeted with this really awesome opening sequence with a really awesome opening song, I was like floored. Like, Mega Man X4 was like so super cool. Like, I didn't even care that it was like compressed video or anything. Like, now we're all spoiled and like we're used to it. But you know, at the time I was just like, whoa, like, this is so awesome, you know what I mean? It starts off really cool. It shows both characters because it's emphasizing you can play as both of them now. The music is just really awesome. Like, the soundtrack is like timed to the animation. It was like a music video, and like, I had never seen anything like that. Now, for me personally, I was going from Mega Man X1 straight into X4. I never had X2 or X3 growing up, so like I didn't quite, realize, like the transition. Like I didn't see like the graphics getting better. I mean, mostly the Super Nintendo games will have like the same graphics or whatever, but like the art style for like X2 and X3 were like evolving. So going from X1 to X4 was like a huge jump. It was like wham, like instant, huge transformation. Imagine showing someone Mega Man X1, with Keiji Inafune's art style, and it's all, kind of cutesy and simple, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're just hit in the face with X4, and it's all animated, and there's like awesome sound effects, and there's voice acting, and it just made me wish that there was like a Mega Man X anime. And it's just like man, it was just the coolest thing. I love seeing everyone going through their action. I like seeing Colonel and Zero fighting. Like, you can see, like, they're both smirking, so it's like they're fighting, and it instantly sells you on the idea, like, yeah, they're like, rivals, but, like, they respect one another. Showing Iris is, like, really cute. You're like, wow, look at this new character. I've never seen, like, a girl Mega Man character before, besides Roll. Showing, like, Repliforce. It's interesting because when I see Repliforce, I don't see them in a negative light in that intro. I was looking at them like, oh, these are, like, good guys or something, because, like, they're so brightly colored. And, like, yeah, they are good guys who, like, get framed. You know what I mean? And so, like, it really kind of, looking back, it's really interesting just seeing all the things that they did with it. Just, like, I don't know, man, it was just so cool, like, just seeing how they do everything, like, just that first moment where you hear the Buster charging up, and then X jumps on screen and then blasts the camera, like, you knew that you were in for, like, a really cool moment. Like, that was just a really fun time all around. So, that's what I got to say about X4. Really special place in my heart, because it's the first time I saw an opening animation like that before, and I'm so glad that it kind of, like, set the standard going forward. Disappointing that we didn't get it in later games, but that's okay. They each have their own charm in their own sort of way.
Mega Man X4's opening. Gosh, there's a lot to be said about this one, and I think for many people, it's number one. It's so cool. Especially you're growing up in the 90s, you're kind of getting into anime, and you see this thing, and it has everything you want. It's full of action, full of color, the cinematography and framing of everything. It's just amazing, and nothing has quite ever topped this again. Gosh, just, watching Colonel and Zero go at it, they're smiling at each other for some reason, Double doing his stupid little antics, there's just so much going on here, and just, I don't know, for me, that shot with X, with the charge shot, just unleashing that thing is just, I'll use the word, it's just pure Kino. And, that kind of says something, because, like, X doesn't really appear that much in the animated cutscenes throughout the game itself, so he really knocks it out of the park here in the opening introduction. The collars just pop. Just, I don't know, guys. It's just amazing through and through. I'm so glad and also a little sad to learn that there's actually a little bit more to this cutscene than what I've come to be raised on. And by that, it was just recently discovered that the cutscene as it's shown in the game is actually cropped. And this Japanese strategy guide was recently discovered to have these single like screenshots of different frames, and they're full screen. And there's more detail and more things happening off screen than we were led to believe when this game came out so many years ago. There's a little bit more detail going on in the original film, so it's kind of cool to see there's more to my favorite opening cutscene than what I was raised on. There's a little bit more shots of, like, X's arm, X's helmet. There's more that we can see. So hopefully one day we can get those cells or get that reel, so we can see the work, the hard work that these animators really put into this thing, and find new appreciation for it.
It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Howdy folks, ShadowRock here to finally reveal the #1 spots for... What's that? They already know? ColeFam made the thumbnail too obvious? Aw, fiddlesticks. Well, okay, yes, we're talking about Megaman X4. Raise your hand if you totally expected this one to end up at the #1 spot. I know I'm raising mine. So, story time, one more time. X4 was my third game in the X series, coming off of X1 and then X5. I went to that local video game store I always talk about, and I asked the clerk there, "Can I get Mega Man 14? Yeah, at the time my dad had convinced me that Mega Man X meant Mega Man 10. So we had Mega Man 10, Mega Man 15, and now I'm getting 14. The clerk just looked at me and replied, "You mean Mega Man X4? And I'm like, "Yeah, that one. Sure. That's a new concept to me. Definitely didn't think of it that way before." It's even funnier now that we have an actual Mega Man 10 and even an 11. And there you go, ColeFam. That's the story I tell everybody about this game. On to the Mega Man 14 opening then. Just like a Mega Man 8, this one's so cool because, once again, it's all original animation, baby. And it feels just like an anime opening, because it essentially is. We start out with the X being formed and X and Zero just pop out of it. So cool. There's so many excellent shots in this opening. Like the next one with the logo appearing and then X comes out and fires a charge shot. Yep, you'll see people referencing that very same shot. Even us on the ShadowRockZX channel have used it for our intro. And I'm going to continue gushing because the next one, Zero runs and he does the Saber Slash and he forms the star on the Rebel Force logo. That's so cool. Very nice detail. And then here comes the infamous salute that the X Legacy Collection had to censor by slowing down this part of the video of everybody saluting. It's really funny. Next up, the supporting cast, Double being Double, Iris being cute, capturing the hearts of many lonely Mega Man X fans. Even Colonel has to give a little smirk to that. Then you have the dream of any Star Wars fan, Zero versus Colonel with the lightsabers. I've always loved these shots at the very end with Zero and Colonel staring each other down with serious looks on their faces, with their sabers crossed. Capcom, you knew what you were doing. And you can't forget about the title character. Here's X in his rare instance doing anything in this game. Seriously, he does not appear in enough cutscenes in this game, and that's really disappointing. Maybe that's for the best, since they did give him the same voice as Mega Man 8, as we now know. But it just feels off, man. But anyway, since Colonel is really more of Zero's rival, you just have X doing his thing with the charge shots and the buster. It's still really cool. And now everybody, say cheese for the camera! Iris, you're up first. Yep, good stuff. Zero, yep. Colonel, nice. Double, okay, you're kind of overselling it there, bud. General, you're not smiling for the camera, or are you? I can't really tell. Alright, everybody, group shot! Yes, perfect. Wait, Sigma, what are you doing there? Get out of the shot, buddy. And that's X4's opening. Overall, it's really nice. Lots of action in here. Just simply introducing you to all the characters in the game, and they do it very nicely. So I can't really complain. This is definitely the best Mega Man opening of them all. Well, honestly, it's a toss-up between 8 and this one for me. Capcom was just on fire during this era, what can I say? Oh, in case you're wondering, I do prefer the English background music to the Japanese song, which is nice either way, but I feel like the English music does fit the visuals more. Moving on past that anime intro, we get this really nice Windows Movie Maker-esque animation forming the Mega Man X4 logo, followed by the narrator. But it's even cooler in the Japanese version, where they also incorporate the Get Weapon renders for X and Zero into the animation, forming the triangle in the Rockman X. And yeah, that's just some really cool looking stuff for a PlayStation 1 game. I wish they kept it for the English version. Mega Man X4 was also the first game where you had a different story for X or Zero. So really, your experience with the opening differs depending on which character you start with. Do you watch Sigma in general sit in a conference room and talk about whatever? I mean, it's kind of boring to be honest. Or do you get the mind-blowing reveal that Zero was made by Dr. Wily? What? Holy crap, it's not like they were hinting at it or anything up to this point. And oh my gosh, is that Reploid blood in my Mega Man game? Yeah, this one scene may well be one of the main reasons why X Legacy Collection is rated T for teen. Gosh, the Zero opening just goes raw. Whereas the X opening may have a little bit more plot relevance, but once again, where is X? Where is X in this game? Oh, there he is. We just had to wait until after the anime cutscene. So the rest is history. We get sent to the opening stage, starting off on a ruined highway, kind of harkening back to X1 I suppose. But you also have the very iconic stage themes for X and Zero. But mostly for X in my opinion, because the X4 opening stage theme for X really nails the tone of his character as a whole, what he's about, and even what he's fighting for. So guys, what was your favorite Mega Man opening? And what were some of your personal stories with experiencing these openings for the first time? Let's hear it in the comments. What I could say is, going on this trip down memory lane has reminded me of why I love the Mega Man series so much. The awesome characters, the action, the references, the story, and maybe most importantly, the music. It's just a really fun little series, and looking back on all these intros just makes me feel like a kid once again. So guys, thank you so much for watching Mega March this year, and thank you ColeFam for having me. Until next time, rock on.
And there you have it. Another Mega March in the books. I hope you enjoyed the format this year. Did you like the list? Did your favorites make the cut? By the way, here are the original votes we did. I would like to thank my guests for coming on. Thank you, Twitch. Thank you, Protodude. Thank you, ShadowRock. This wouldn't have been possible without you. I also want to thank everyone that sent in art and just well wishes. It's all greatly appreciated. Lastly, as usual, I want to thank all of our channel members: Silby, Dano, Van Jackson, Sigma, Duckman, Dornor, Derupi, Sprinqgueen, Masterman, Seta, Falcon KPD, Eugene 42181, Prototwi, LML 123, my mom, Glitch Hunting Gamer, Daunted X, and Yuki Senmatsu. That's right, named them all this time. And thank you to everyone that's ever supported the channel in any way.
But it's only March 30th.
I hear you say. Well, tomorrow I'm releasing a new video in a brand new style. New for me, at least. This video has been a long time coming, so I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Happy Mega March.